Hi, it's Jordan Teen 1, and in this video I'm going to show you how to make this really pretty Star of David. So I had been asked on YouTube if I could come up with a design for a Star of David, and this is what I created. So I'm really happy with the way that it turned out, and I hope that you like it too. To make your star, you're going to need a hook of some sort. So I'm using the Rainbow Loom metal hook, and then you're going to need several clips, probably about 7. And as far as my band counts, I'm going to be using 80 blue and 36 white. So of course it's up to you, whatever colors you want to choose. There's a lot of different color combinations. I'm sure that would be very pretty together. We're going to begin with a chain of 42 bands. So I have the pattern laid out here. It's going to be 2 whites, a blue, 3 whites, and another blue. So each one of these is going to represent one of the points of the star. So we're starting here with our first white. You're going to triple this on your hook. So it goes on, twist, back on, twist, and back on. So you're going to have 3 loops. And then one at a time you're just going to pull through in this pattern. So through all 3 loops, back on, and as this grows you can pull down on what you're forming just to help your hook slide through a little bit easier. So I had my 2 whites and then a blue, or whatever colors you're using, and then I have my 3 whites, and then another blue. I'll do the next one with you, and then I'll let you finish the rest out on your own. So this is our second set of the pattern. It's 2 whites and a blue, and then 3 whites, and then another blue. So you're just going to repeat that 4 more times, so you can pause and do that now, and I will see you back here in a minute. In the second row, we're going to be doing a pattern of 1 single crochet in each of the first 2 chains, 3 single crochets into the next chain, and then again 1 single and 1 single. And then where the clips are, we're going to skip those 2 chains. So we're going to repeat that pattern 6 times, and you can see I'm using all the same color. So you'll need a total of 42 bands, and this is what's going to be the outer edge of your star. So I'm starting in the end here. You should have 2 loops on your hook. They should be whatever your outside color is. And I'm going to pull through, get the other end back on. I have my 2 loops, one through the other. So that's what's known as a single crochet, and I'm going to move to the next chain over, and you always want to make sure that your chain is straight. You can just run your fingers along to smooth it and make sure that it's not twisted, because you always want to make sure you're going from front to back. You're going to go under 2 loops when you push through, and so here's my second chain. Again, I'm doing a single crochet, so it comes through, back on, one through the other 2. Now in the next one here, we're doing 3 single crochet in the same stitch. So it's 1, back through that same chain, 2, back through one more time, 3. So that's actually going to be the point of the star, and then a single in the next, and then you should be back to your same color as you're working on, and that gets a single. So that actually completes one section of the star. You're skipping the next 2, and you can see that they're white, and I'm going into my next blue. I'm going to repeat this pattern again. So it goes 1, move to the next chain, we have 1, And then in that next chain we're going to do 3. So there's the first, back through for a second, and back through once more. I know that my bands are getting kind of messed up here, so just ignore this. And then we have 2 more singles. So 1, and your last single for this part of the star should be where the blue is. Skip the next 2, and I'll do the next one with you, but I'll let you do the remainder then on your own. So we have a single, a single, then 3 singles, 1, 2, 3. Now we have a single and 1 more single. You're skipping the next 2, and you're just going to repeat that all the way to the end. So your last single is going to be in the blue here, and I will do that very last one with you because I'm going to do it just a tiny bit different. So you can just pause and do that now, and I'll see you back here shortly. Now you should have 1 band left, and it should be going in through the same color chain as what you're using for the outside. So the only difference for this is I'm going to pull it through and get it back on, but what I'm going to do is pull the end 2 through the 3rd. That's just going to make it a little bit tighter, so you're going to have 2 bands left on your hook. And then we're going to need to connect back to the start. So you should have this nice long chain of zigzags. I'm going to take 1 additional band to tie this off. So make sure that it's straight, that it's all on the same side, there's no twists in it. And at the beginning here where we first started, what I'm going to do is to go through these sort of upper loops here. You can see I'm going to just push through those 2. Take my last band and I'm going to pull through everything, get it back on, and do 1 through the other, and make a nice and tight slip knot. So I'm not going to hide this or do anything with it for now. I'm just going to place a clip on it. In this 3rd part, you're going to need a total of 6 white bands and 6 blue, and then also 6 clips that are going to hold our loose band until we pick it up in the next part. So here's what we've made so far, and we're going to be starting on the left-hand side of where we ended here, and we do want the correct side or the front side to be facing us. So what we have been working on so far, what's been facing you, is what I'm calling the wrong side, and that you've been going in from front to back. So you're actually going to flip this over to the correct side, and we're going to tack these together so they form more of a point. So remember, we're starting at the left of where we had ended, and you can see that this is the tip here. We're going to go down to the next 2 bands. They were our original chains here, the white. You're going to go down through on the right and then come up through on the left. So make sure you're getting under both loops. We're going to start with a white, so it's going to pull through everything, back on, and 1 through the other. So then we're going to move down to the next pair that are across from one another. Let me just get this a little more in focus. And these are going to be blue. So on the right I'm going down through both loops, back up through the other side, should be straight across from one another. Now we have the blue, they're going to pull through everything, including this one on your hook, back on, 1 through the other. Then you're going to take your clip and you're going to add this. So if you straighten this out, you can see we've just basically stitched that together, so it made a pretty nice point. We're going to go around and do that to all 6 of these. So here we have our next one. This one chain that got the 3, that's the tip, so you're going down to the next 2. They should be across from one another. So down through, back up. We're doing a white because we're going through the white, one through the other, and then you're going down to the next one on the right, down through the 2 blue, back up through the other 2. This time we have blue. It's going to pull through everything, back on, one through the other, and add your clip. And again, you're going to have to sort of straighten this out, and you can see now that's our second one. So we're just moving over. So we have the white through all, one through the other, moving down to the next, blue through everything, one through the other, and the clip. And just straighten that out. So this part's pretty easy. It's just a matter of getting it lined up. And then as you're going around, it should really start to take shape here. It should start to look more like an actual star. So, whoops, grabbed the wrong one. This is my 5th point. And then there's one left here. So we're doing the white at the top, and then the blue. Now this is not connected here. This is where we first started with the tripled band, but don't worry about that. It's just going to sort of hang in the middle, and we're going to attach that in the next section. So we're going down to the blue on either side, pull through everything, and I'll attach the last clip. So now we should have what is basically starting to look like an actual star shape. In the last section, you're going to need 18 blue bands, and what we're doing is we're going to connect all of these loose bands around the inside and form the rest of that inner circle. So you can see here, this is where we started. You have your loose bands here hanging, the chain. You're ignoring that, you're going to the left of that, and you have your loose band here in the middle. I'm going to get that on my hook, and I'm going to go down through each one of the chains in line. It's going to go down through, back up, and then down through, back up. You're going to keep repeating that all the way around. So the first one I'm going down through is blue, coming straight up the white one to the left. It's going to pull through, back on. You'll have the 3 loops, one through the other 2. And then you're always going to be going back down through the same chain that you came up through, and then over to the next. Again, single crochet. We have one more down through the white, up through the blue, and through. So that's one section made up of 3, and then we're going to attach our loose band. So all you're going to do is just pull that through. Now we're going to have 3 more, so down through the blue, up through the white, down through the same white, up through the next, and then down through the white, up through the blue. we're on to our next loose band. And we have 3 for this next section. So 1, 2, and 3, and now the next loose band, and now we have 3, and the next loose band. So we're almost back to the beginning here. We have 2 more sets of 3, and when we do get around back to the start, we are going to attach those chains that we first started with, so it's nice and neat. So I have my loose band here, and I have my last set of 3. So here's where we're going to pick this up. I'm going down through the blue, and I need to come back up through the white. And the white I need to come up through is this triple band that we very first started with. So come up through those 3 loops, pulling through, doing that single crochet, and then back down through that triple band and up through the next white chain, and then we have 1 more, and this time we're going to pick up this other loose band that's from the outer edge. So I'm going down through the white, and on the back side here I'm going to take this band, get it on my hook, take that clip out, and then I'm coming back up through the blue. I'm going to pull through, and do the single crochet. So that should get us all the way back to the start. Now all we need to do is to close this off, and we just want to hide this loop in the back. But if you look here, we do have a white loop here that sort of sticks out. So what I'm going to do is, let me just get a clip here, and I'll attach this to the loose band. What I'm going to do is come up through to the left of that white band, and it doesn't really matter exactly where, and I'm just going to grab this loop, and I can take my clip off, and I'm going to pull that through to the back. So that's just going to kind of hide that white loop. And then I need to take 1 additional band, and I'm just going to go through a loop or 2 on the back, and I will pull through everything and make a nice and tight slip knot. So now if you wanted to, you could leave this loop to hang this somewhere. Or if you didn't want that, you could just hide this loop. So you would just want to go through some bands on the back. Just make sure that they stay to the back and pull through. So you might have to do that a few times till you get it completely hidden. So then you can just reshape your points, and if you need to reshape anything in the center here, try and get these to be nice and straight. And then your Star of David is complete. I hope that everyone loves their new stars. You can always leave me comments on YouTube and Facebook. Post pictures of your creations to my Facebook page, and please feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel so that way you can stay updated on my latest tutorials. You can also find me on Pinterest and Instagram, so please feel free to sign up for those as well, and then post your pictures and comments there too. Thanks for watching!